Hi, I'm Navneet Chahal. I am a general counsel for the Abhi Oswal Group. I'm a photographer too. First part of the lockdown, I was indoors for 40 days till I saw a video of a migrant labor who had been walking from Bangalore for 3 weeks, and his mother was in the back seat of his chair, and his family was, since he had one cycle, his family was walking, and he'd said that they'd been cycling for many days, and for the last 2-3 days didn't get any food. And that was something that hit me so hard. You know, when you have food and water with you, you thought it's easy to give, but I would find people who were walking, and I'd stop the car, I'll ask them, would you want some food? And they would be hesitant. And I immediately realized they've not, in their lives perhaps they've not had to ask for food. And this was a different situation. They were just a little helpless. So I changed my strategy. I immediately started asking them. I said, would you care to have water? It used to be so hot in those days. And everybody would say yes to water. And when they would warm up, I'll ask for them where are they going, where are they heading to, if they would want to have some food, then they would say yes. What realization I had was that these people are respectful workers in their own space.
कौन सी स्टेशन उतरोगे? भुवनेश्वर?
Initial 2-3 days when I went, I had 100 to 50 packs with me, and when I was going on the highways, I thought I may give 100, and on the second day I had 250, and I thought maybe it's too much and I'm not going to see so many people. And but by the end, it would take me about something like 6 to 7 hours, but by the time I would be coming back home, before you know it, you'll have a bunch of people, and if I had 50 packages, there'll be 75. So I realized that there is never a shortage of somebody out to help you. I can tell you till now, every day, it has been a multiplication of the food packages that we delivered. I started with 100, went to 200, went to 500, to 2,000, to 5,000, and one day it was 7,000. And that was an average you maintained, about 2,500 to 3,000. Food and water was very easy for me to deliver. Then it was relevant for me to see that and the extra help, whatever they needed, like for example, they needed to get into the trains and buses. We would map the streets and highways to find these people and tell them not to walk because there are buses and trains going, and try and guide them to get into the buses and trains. One would get to know tomorrow is a train for MP, day after is Bihar. It wasn't published, but because somebody knew, we got to know, and you were able to pass on this information. But imagine, it took me an immense amount of network to figure out this relevant information, to be as a part of the co-volunteers who were working with the government, me being in touch with those co-volunteers and then having this information. What is an average migrant going to do? How is he going to get that information? There were so many of them would be limping because they've been walking, they've had a torn ligament, their tube tires are busted, taking your wife and children, 6 months old baby, just a newborn baby, an old mother, got whose whole luggages, and they have no course. All the people that I saw just got out of the house. Next stop, their travel was till next stop. They knew their destination, but they were doing traveling stop by stop. One had to innovate as what is the current situation of the day. Today this road is open, tomorrow that road is open. On that given day, how can you offer them help? And every day was a different challenge happening. If roads were getting open and certain willing auto rickshaws were taking, or tempos were taking, we would just tell them, take them to a certain point.
सबको bye.
There are people who've been homeless and helpless in the sense they don't have rations. I provide ration kits, and it is not now, it is across various states. I do that for Orissa, I'm doing it for Malda. I had one migrant who went from here to Malda. I mean, he reached the quarantine center, he gave me a call at night and he was frantically crying out, "Ma'am, we have no food." So I had to find a network of people, first figure out where he in Malda he was, then figure out who in Malda I can tap, who can go to that village. And finally I found a volunteer. She was amazing. She does work with stray dogs. I wired her the money. She was willing to go to the village, and we picked up the ration and we gave it to the quarantine centers in Malda. My mother's 76, and one of our concerns definitely is senior citizens cannot be exposed. So I have, in the initial days, I've stayed inside. But after that video that I saw, the plan that I made was I have been living on quarantine terms of conditions. I haven't eaten a meal with my mother since 9th of May, and we talk through the windows, through the doors. So she stays on the left side of the house and I stay on the right side of the house. What I believe is, for a larger good, a lot many people come together. When I started, I never anticipated that the relief work is going to thousands, 30,000, 20,000, or you're helping at least 800 people get home. Never. I didn't even think about it, didn't even plan, didn't have that as an objective. The only objective I was is whatever I can possibly do, I'm going to do. If I had budgeted 20-25 lakhs, and I'm not saying this is all my money, I'm saying God gives you this money. Somewhere it comes through. And so essentially that relief is for them, and for them the ways come. All you have to do is take a decision and a call. Don't think and don't plan based on your budget. Plan the opposite. Plan on the need, and it will get fulfilled.